everybody? So I know I missed last week's review of Teen Mom Young and Pregnant. Honestly, you guys, I just didn't watch it. I had a lot going on last week. But this week seems to pick right up off of last week, and I did manage to watch it last night. So here goes. So in this week of Young and Pregnant, it starts off with Tiaza and Kaia still arguing from last week. Now, MTV paid them to film at this rental. I think it's at Virginia Beach. MTV paid for all of this shit, okay? So they start arguing about the fact that they're not together. And Tiaza says, that she wasn't happy sometimes with Kaia. And if she ain't happy someplace, she ain't gonna stay. So that's why they broke up in the first place, and they start arguing about that. Kaya's like, how can one day you be happy and the next you're not, and you leading me on and you don't know what you want. They start arguing about that. They honestly look like two little kids arguing. So Tiaza storms off, then Kaia gets in the car. She's mad, they're arguing. She's like, I want to talk to you, but Tiaza refuses to talk to her because Kaia is blacking out with anger right now. And all the friends are in the house looking like, what the fuck? Like, why did we even come? She calls her mom, who is definitely on her side, and says that Tiaza needs to basically grow up and see it from Kaia's side because, Kaia's always right. So moving over to fan favorite Brianna, she's talking about her long lost love that she found on the internet, Briggs. Now, this dude, I remember when she first started dating him, she dated him for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then we asked about him randomly one day, and she was like, he cheated, they're not together no more, or something crazy like that. I don't know. But anyway, she's talking about the fact that she's spending so much time with Briggs and he has his own job. He's established and yada yada, and she's very excited. However, she's spending more time with him and less time with her weird BFF, Ashley. So Ashley has had an attitude with her lately and said, you forgot about me, you threw me to the wayside. And her mom is like, yeah, I've noticed that you haven't been at Ashley's house anymore. Like, she's kind of gloating about it because they don't really like Ashley because everybody is vying for Brianna's attention this season. For what? I don't know, but everybody is jealous when she starts hanging out with somebody. It's really weird. So she says that Ashley invited the whole family except for Briggs, which is her new boo, to Thanksgiving dinner. So let's just see how that plays out. So moving on to Kayla J, she reveals that her and Michael have gotten yet another argument, and this one was like over the top. So she invites her mother over to talk about it because her mom is usually the voice of reason when it comes to her and Michael. So she sits down with her mom and she says that Michael basically told her to go and find Mecca's real dad and get him to raise Mecca because he was through. He was through with the arguing and the drama, and basically they keep arguing because Michael has moved on. So Kayla J's mom is surprised by this because she's like, no, that's Mecca's dad. So what did you say to him to make him even say something like that? Like, did you say something first? And she says, yes, I definitely did. I told him to go find another girl and have his own baby so he can see how I feel. And Kayla's mom is like, okay, there we go. Y'all are going blow for blow, back and forth being petty. Despite what Kayla J has said about her mom in that counseling session, her mom seems very level-headed. She's like, okay, it didn't work out. Now let's move on. Y'all have got to co-parent and stop all this damn arguing. Kayla agrees and feels like she needs to meet up with Michael to talk about their boundaries and just get their feelings out of the way. Moving on to Rachel, she has found yet another boo in her hometown and she's putting him on camera. At this point, I feel like people in her hometown know that she's on TV and they're just talking to her for their little 5 minutes on MTV because it's like a new dude like every other episode. But anyway, she says that she's so happy with this new dude, Noah, and blah, 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 that she met online. And she's sitting down talking to her friend. And her friend that she moved in with, last week, tells her that she's now moving out of her mom's house to go live with her boyfriend. And Rachel is fake surprised, like, what? So she basically tells Rachel that she has to move back in with her mom. And Rachel was like, okay, I guess I will move back in with my mom. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, what? You was just locking ass last week and the week before about how you couldn't stand her. Now that you have to move back in with her, it's, I guess. Like, these girls are all over the place. Not to mention, she claims because now that she got a new boo, her and her mom won't be arguing that much because she has something to occupy her time. Okay. So heading over to Kayla, who is fresh out of quarantine. She stops at her mom's house because she has the results of this DNA test between Ryan and Zay. And of course, drum roll please, Ryan is not the dad. And, everybody acts surprised when we already knew that that was the case. So she says that with these results, she's thought that, her and Luke would get closer together because this is finally a chapter that's closed and storyline over. However, Luke is becoming even more distant and she doesn't know why. They're butting heads a lot and she thinks that they need to see a counselor. So it then pans over to Luke and his mom that are talking about literally the same thing after they chop it up a little bit about future plans with Luke and school. So he says, yeah, when they were quarantined, him and Kayla were butting heads a lot. He still feel a way about the whole DNA test and the Ryan thing. Like, why is this dude in our life? Him and Kayla are just pretty much going through a rough patch right now. And his mom is so cute, Noopy. She says, I'll be you guys' counselor because, I got life experience. I've been there, done that. I can tell you that life and whoever you're with, it's not going to be peaches and cream all the time. You have to work at it. So we'll see. So heading back over to Kayla J, she says that Michael has agreed to sit down and meet with her. And then it switches over to Michael, which is sitting down with one of his friends, saying, that he's trying to be there for his child, but Kayla isn't making it easy. Basically, that she does not trust him alone with their daughter Mecca, so Mecca is not allowed to go to Philly. And the friend is like, are you sure it's not about your new girlfriend? And he's like, that's the thing. I moved on and now she's basically making my life hell. She's mad that I moved out and I moved on. And he says that Kayla is making this personal and making it about her instead of making it about their child and what is their child's best interest. Once again, I have to say, it just looks like Kayla is upset that Michael has moved on. Heading over to Brianna, if you guys remember, she said that her and her entire family were supposed to be having Thanksgiving dinner at her friend Ashley's house, but she said that was a nightmare because as soon as she got there, Ashley started fussing her out, calling her a liar and blase, and Brianna said that she left her whole family there, went back home, went to her room, and spent Thanksgiving Day alone. So her and Ashley had a couple squirrel in front of everybody, and it was awkward as fuck. So she basically said that the night before Thanksgiving, she was supposed to do something with Ashley, but her son was not feeling well, so she stayed home. And later on that evening, she went out with Bricks, and I guess Ashley found out about it or Ashley saw it on social media. Not really sure, but Ashley thought that she just lied to her, basically blew her off because she wanted to spend time with her boyfriend. So these two get into it, which is weird to me because Ashley has a whole husband and like 4 or 5 kids. So even if Brianna doesn't want to spend time with you on a certain day, like, go spend time with your husband, go spend time with your kids. Like, I don't understand why everybody is pawning for Brianna's attention. So, she's sitting down talking to her mom and her sister about it, and they're just like, I can't believe that happened. I don't even know how I'm going to talk to Ashley anymore, and you guys need to sit down and talk because y'all friendship is blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, this is so high school. Like, you keep blowing me off for your boyfriend and I'm mad. No, not a 30-year-old woman. No. People on Twitter after this scene definitely thought that Brianna and Ashley had a little something extra going on. And if you guys look at my older reviews, I said it was really weird that Brianna was over there all the damn time with this girl and her husband. Anyway, so heading back over to Kaia, somebody that needs to calm the hell down. She's still driving around in her car mad, and Tiaza sits down with their friend to basically tell her, what's going on and why they're arguing. Tiaza, who's been very mature this whole season, basically tells the friend, when we're good, but when we're bad, and this shit is toxic, and I love her. And, she feels like I'm flip-flopping when we arguing and it's no peace in the house, we just need to go our separate ways. And basically, that's just what it is. Like, her and Kaia are always damn arguing. So that's why Tiaza would pretty much zone out and want to take herself out of the situation. That's pretty much just what it is. They're always fucking arguing. So Rachel has officially moved back into her mom's house, although she says repeatedly she wishes she didn't have to. So it shows a little cute scene of them cooking and getting along. And then Mallory comes over. So it's just Mallory and Big Steph talking in the living room. So they're talking about Rachel and how Rachel is now moved back in and they're getting along pretty well. And they're thinking, it has something to do with her new boyfriend, Noah, the dude that's keeping her distracted from cussing her mom out every 2 seconds. So they're like, Rachel is so dependent on a man and she always has to have somebody and she has daddy issues. That's why she has a new boyfriend every week. But as long as, she can calm down and stop cussing everybody out, they're okay with Noah being in the picture. So Kayla and Big Luke are still having problems. So she decides to go over to Big Luke's mom, Noopy's house, for some advice because, of course, MTV is too cheap to hire a real counselor. So when she got there, she reveals, that Luke does not really help out with the kids. ever since they were in Iowa, he's never really helped out. He would go out with his friends, which she had already voiced those concerns in previous seasons. He would go out with his friends a lot, leave her in the house to take care of the kids and the housework and everything. And one time he actually lied to her and said that, he had got high or whatever with some friends when he was actually with a girl, creeping around, screwing, whatever. So Luke's mom is surprised. She's like, that ain't like my son. He wasn't raised that way. I can't believe he actually cheated on you. She said, yeah, but, it happened a while ago and I pretty much blocked it out because it's just so damn embarrassing to get cheated on twice. And honestly, listening to this story, it's like, we give Luke a lot of praise for stepping up to be a father figure for a child that's not his. But at the end of the day, he's just like every other baby daddy. It's just sad to say, but he's just like every other man. So heading over to Brianna, she's still very pissed at Ashley for the whole Thanksgiving thing, but she thinks that their friendship is worth saving. So she decides to, let Ashley come over to the house. So Ashley comes over to the house and is trying to explain to Brianna, I just don't like him. I don't trust him. I don't get good vibes from your new boyfriend. And I do feel like you blow me off a lot for him. You got my kids in the house saying, oh, when is Brianna and Bryson coming over? And I don't know what to tell them. So Ashley is still very much in her feelings and felt like that day that Brianna stood her up. So Brianna just asked Ashley to give her boyfriend a chance because she actually does see a future with this man and he's not going anywhere, but she doesn't want a dude to get in the middle of them, so she just hopes that Ashley can get over it. Honestly, Ashley was probably right in hindsight, but now I'm just like, Ashley cares a little too much. So moving on to Kayla J and Michael, they finally decide to meet up at this bridge. I really don't know where they are. And she basically says, when are you going to move back down here? And he says, soon. I think that he is living in Philly with his new girlfriend. I think he moved 2 hours away to be with this girl. So I honestly feel like that's where Kayla J's feelings and animosity towards him comes from. She says, your daughter doesn't want to talk to you on FaceTime. She wants to see you in person. He's like, yeah, I know. So, he's trying to, work with her. They got these pens and pencils out and they were going to write down a plan. And he's like, I just don't understand why she can't come with me. And she's like, I don't want multiple bitches around my daughter. You be having people around my daughter that don't even like her. Like, allegedly, his ex-girlfriend actually told Kayla that she ain't like their daughter Mecca. So they start arguing about that. And he's like, just move on. Just move on. Like, how dare you tell me to go have another kid with somebody when Mecca is my kid? So Kayla is basically saying, she can't move on because he keeps bringing the bullshit to her doorstep, which is pretty much true. But, hearing this whole story, I'm not Team Michael right now. So Rachel is riding around town with her new flavor of the week, Noah, and she says that she's, so enchanted by him, and he is really good with Hazley, buying Hazley ice cream and shit. I don't know why he's around Hazley so soon, but to each their own. So it flashes over to her and her mom, and they're still getting along, and her mom is wondering, like, Rachel, you see we getting along now. I wonder why. And Rachel said, I got a new dude, so I'm in a new mood. Basically, everybody is, giving Noah his props for turning Rachel into an overnight good girl or something. Like, it's really weird because both of these people are like 20. But anyway, the mom is saying, yeah, I guess because, you got a new boo to occupy your time and we don't see each other like that we have not gotten into that many arguments. And all of them just wish that it stays like this. Everybody just wants Rachel to be in a good mood. Like, that's the whole consensus of this episode. Everybody just wants Rachel to stay in a good mood. So Rachel finally says, I love my mom. I'll be there for her if she needs something, and, vice versa, and blase. We just have an up and down relationship. So it took her all season to say something good about her mom. So this is the one good thing I can say about Rachel. She finally said something good about her mom. So Kayla is still sitting down with Big Luke's mom, Noopy. And Noopy's like, I'm disappointed in my son. I'm about to call him right now. So she calls Big Luke. He answers the phone. He seems aggravated. He says, that he's not about to talk about this shit over the phone. So that's when Kayla was like, you know what? Thanks for all your help. Let me just go back home and deal with this. So Big Luke calls her when she's in the car and he's like, okay, so how did it go? And she's like, your mama know everything. She know about the cheating. She know about you not really being there for the kids as we portray on TV and on social media. And yeah. So he says, I don't know what people want from me. Like, it already happened. It's done. I can't change it. Basically, Big Luke acting like a typical man once again. After they do something, it's let's just move on. No, like it don't work like that. You would think they would know after the 100th time they've done it that we just don't let it go like that. Kayla said that this happened last year, so yeah. Kayla says that she just wants him to open up more and that they will talk when she gets home. So get home, girl. So Kayla J and Michael are still sitting in this spot, damn, arguing. So he's like, you know what? I just want to be a father to my daughter. How can I do that? She says, you can't do that because you want to take her to Philly. And I already told your ass she ain't going to Philly. So he's like, you know what? I can't move right now, but I will move in a couple of weeks. Then maybe I can get her Thursday through Sunday and you can get her for the rest of the week. And she's like, you're not just going to get your daughter on the weekends. You're going to get her during the day too. Basically, she wants a family. She doesn't want this, different household type family because she is getting real upset telling him, that he has to be there every single day and stuff like that. And he's just like, yeah, I just want to have my daughter, while I don't have to necessarily be around you. To which Kayla J tells him that he's just going to have to figure it out because she's not going to make it easy for him. The baby is not going to Philly, so you're just going to have to figure something out. As he walks away, she then busts out crying, and she's also crying in the confessionals, saying that it hurts her so bad when Michael talks to other people, and basically that he's playing house with another girl, and she's really upset with this situation. Like, that is the thing. I think that she wants a family with Michael. She wants Michael, and Michael has moved on. So going back over to Mad Kaia, she's been in this car mad driving around all episode long, and she finally has cooled off enough to go home. So she heads back to the home that MTV rented out for her and her friends. And she's ready to start arguing again, but Tiaza's like, yo, chill, trying to get her to calm down and tells her to just sit down and let's talk this thing through, which she reluctantly does. The friend gets her ass up out of there because she don't want no parts of this hurricane that's going on. So Kaia is still mad at the fact that she told Tiaza, if you walk away, that means you don't give a fuck. And Tiaza kept walking. And Tiaza's like, because I'm not going to have no conversation with you when you mad and screaming and you pretty much blanking out. And, Tiaza's like, I'm just going to walk away from the situation before it gets worse. So then Kaia starts crying and saying, that Tiaza doesn't know what she wants. And, she would never do the things to Tiaza that Tiaza has done to her, like breaking up with her and having her crying in the middle of the street saying, not an inch of your body want to be with me no more. And Tiaza's like, no, I'm not going to do this every day, this fucking arguing. Kaia said, she really didn't want to break up with Tiaza because she knew they would be back together because that's what they do. One moment he wants to be with her, the next moment she don't want to be with her. Like, it's weird. They both agreed that they need to communicate a little bit better, and this episode was just dragging on, and I feel like this review is just dragging on. That's all for this week, y'all. Okay, last but not least, somebody commented just today and said, random, is it just me or does Michael have a wagon? No wonder old girl is going crazy. Yes, Michael does have a wagon.